Hey, what's up? Glad to have you back here for the final part of the Dead by Daylight Killer tier list. If you want to check out the other 4 parts, they'll be linked in the description below, so feel free to check those out and see if you agree or disagree with my rankings. As always, feel free to let me know how you would rank these killers in the comments below. These lists are not meant to be anything more than just my opinion pieces based on my playstyle, so I'd love to hear yours. Just keep it civil and keep it fun. If you'd like to chat live with me, I'm streaming on Twitch currently 3 times a week. The link to my channel's in the description as well. Come by, set a spell, let's get to know each other. Alright, let's get on with the final part of my Dead by Daylight Killer tier list. Next, we have the Oni, the relative of the spirit. Now, this character is pretty cool. I gotta admit, I am a Oni fan. I don't play the Oni near as much as I should. The Oni is just one really cool killer in my book for just size and designs that they have for this killer. They're just amazing. Now, the Oni's power is great, and then it allows the Oni to do a one-shot down and charge the field. So he can do a lot of things. Can put a lot of pressure on the map, and is just frankly scary as hell when you hear him go into his rage and starts running around the field. Another good thing about the Oni is he can, with that ability, exhaustion perks really don't help a lot. Yeah, you may have sprint bursts. Yeah, you may have live. If the Oni has his power up and is charging, he can break that distance down in no time. So it really gives a huge counter to those exhaustion perks. And really, there's not one true build that works great with Oni. Oni really makes use of most any perk in the game pretty well. I mean, there's nothing negative to pull back on Oni for any kind of build that they need to play or what have you. Now, the power's great. The Oni does have to build his power up by hurting a survivor and draining the blood and absorbing blood to be able to do that power. If you play with perks like Sloppy Butcher, that adds more blood on the field. He has some perks that will make it to when a survivor touches blood, that they reveal their aura to him. There's just all sorts of play for it, but he does have to injure them first. Add-ons do really help the Oni and really make it to where his ability can be played by even players with lower experience with him. So you get your turn radius, you get less penalties for misses, longer use of the power. There's lots of things, and the add-ons really help, but again, add-ons are finite. You don't have all the add-ons. You have to find add-ons, and for killers, the only way you're going to get add-ons is through the blood web. So you're going to have to invest in the Oni's add-ons in order to be able to get the max value out of the Oni. And there is the field of vision issue that the Oni has because of the size. He does have some issues with seeing survivors, especially if he's charging at them. A lot of times survivors can just make small adjustments to the left or right and be out of his field of view. And because he's charging, he can't make those fast turns. So it's more of a, kind of like a wide circle, kind of like an 18-wheeler making a turn. He has to make wide rights and wide lefts in order to move around when on his power. But those are kind of low on the totem pole of problems. So for that, the Oni is not superior, not the top quality, but the Oni is a really powerful killer and has earned itself a B rating on my chart. Alright, next up, Deathslinger. Now, I'll have to say, I suck with Deathslinger. I mean, really, I am not a first-person shooter player. If you catch my stream on Thursday nights when I do collab night with a couple of my friends, and we end up playing first-person shooters like Call of Duty or Left 4 Dead 2, you'll know just how bad I am at first-person shooters. It's not even funny. And with the Deathslinger kind of being that first-person shooter kind of killer, yeah, I have my problems with the Deathslinger. I'm not really good with it. The good things the Deathslinger has going for it: range killer. You know, Huntress is a range killer. The Plague was a range killer, and the Deathslinger is also a range killer. Unlike the Huntress, the Deathslinger's range is finite. It's a lot smaller. It's really as far as your harpoon gun will shoot. But he is good in one-on-ones. If he's chasing someone, he's got his gun loaded, ready to go, and you can fire relatively good, and you can out mind game the survivors. You can get shots one-on-one, reel them in, and get a hit quite a few times. Now, because of his ability, when he hooks them and hits them, that causes them to go into deep wound state, like the Legion does, and that causes them to have to go mend, which means they have to mend before they can heal up. So he is very good at slowing the game down if he can get pressure on multiple people. But that's where our problems begin with the Deathslinger. The Deathslinger doesn't have an insta-down, doesn't have a way of doing a one-shot down, and that means he's not going to be able to down multiple survivors quickly. It's kind of like the same problem we got with Legion. Legion's problem is that he has no insta-down. She has no insta-down. They have no way of getting people down quickly. Yes, they are a headache to play against. That anti-healing ability of deep wounds is a great slowdown in the game, but it's a one-on-one kind of affair. It's not something that the Deathslinger is going to be able to apply relatively quickly to multiple people. Even Legion has a faster way of doing it, although Deathslinger does it at range. The Deathslinger also has no way of getting around the map, where Legion has his Feral Frenzy and can move around the map pretty fast if you want to burn it for that. Deathslinger doesn't have anything like that. So the Deathslinger is more of a one-on-one kind of killer, and that's a big problem. No map pressure, one-on-one, not really the greatest of add-ons in there, no way of insta-downing, but amazing at one-on-one gameplay. So for that very reason, I can't give the Deathslinger an F. It's probably a high F, low D, but I'm going to go ahead with D on this one, D class, because I think the Deathslinger has more going for him than Legion has going for them. That's just my opinion again. Comment below, let me know what you think. Am I full of it? Let me know. Now on our list we come to Pyramid Head, one of the newer killers. I mean, we've got 3 killers left, so of course it's going to be one of the newer killers. Pyramid Head from the video game series Silent Hill. Now this character is pretty special in my book. I think that if played well, Pyramid Head has a lot of advantages to him. The Torment ability is really cool when you actually get it to work on survivors, or you get survivors into Torment. Pyramid Head negates some of the strongest perks in the game. His ability to negate the effects of Borrowed Time or Decisive Strike, if he can get tormented, is really nice, because instead of picking up and hooking, you just send them to the gulag, really. I mean, that really negates some of those perks that survivors run quite a bit against standard killers. He is somewhat of a ranged attacker. Actually, I will have to say he is a ranged attacker, because if we're going to put if we're going to say ranged attackers are the Plague and the Deathslinger, we have to say that Pyramid Head is a master, or is a, I won't say a master, but is a ranged attacker. And that makes chases and loops really interesting with Pyramid Head because you get to play mind games. You know, once a survivor jumps across that window and is obscured from your view, you can jam your sword in the ground and do that attack. And you have to kind of guess where the survivor is. They have to kind of guess where you're aiming. So, yeah, it's pretty cool ability. On the downside, Pyramid Head really doesn't have any way to insta-down players, which we've mentioned pretty much every killer. There's no insta-down. Pyramid Head does have a learning curve, especially with his ranged attack, but it's nothing too let's say, what's the word I'm looking for? And I'm sitting here scratching my beard. It's nothing too daunting of a task to do. Add-ons, I mean, I don't really know of add-on it's a must-have for Pyramid Head. They're all kind of meh, if you ask me. But that doesn't stop us from placing Pyramid Head pretty high up on the list. I'm going to give Pyramid Head an actually above average rating. Pyramid Head's not average, he's slightly above average, he's not superior, but, you know, he's got a lot of good things going for him. And so that's where I'm pretty much going to put Pyramid Head on my list. Alright, next on our killer tier list is going to be the Blight, the ping pong killer. The killer that takes, I think, probably the most amount of skill to learn how to play effectively. And that's where the Blight fits in. Now, I don't hate the Blight. I'm just not, I've not devoted as much time as a lot of players have into the Blight. He's got a pretty high learning curve, but he had at one point one of the best add-ons in the game. The Compound 22 was one of the best add-ons in the game, in its ability to allow you to see where survivors were if they were in your area. And even if you didn't see their aura, just getting the event, knowing that somebody was in the area was great. But now everything's been halved. I think it was 16 meters and 6 seconds, but then they nerfed it in half, so it's 8 meters and 3 seconds, I believe is what it's been changed to. Still good information, but not nearly as good as it used to be for the Blight. Now, things that the Blight has going for him, the Blight does have some map presence ability, the ability to traverse the map pretty quickly with his ability, albeit that you have to ping pong off of things to keep it going. He's really good one-on-one against survivors. Makes the most out of bad gameplay from a survivor. That's pretty much where I see him at. Downside, yes, high learning curve, the ping pong ability. He does, he's not really a stealthy killer. He is short, but I mean, that doesn't really help a ton. He can snowball pretty well, but good survivors can really punish the Blight for making errors in his attack. I really don't know a lot to say bad about the Blight, because again, I haven't played the Blight enough. From my regular or my limited time playing with this killer, he's not just an average, he's not below average, he's slightly above average. We're gonna put Blight in the B column. I mean, Blight B, I mean, kind of makes sense, but you know, not really. But that's where I feel like the Blight needs to go, and that's gonna lead us up to our last killer. And that last killer on our killer tier list as of January the 9th, 2021 is going to be the Twins. The Twins' newest killer, only been out for a short period of time at the time that I made this video, but one really good killer, I'll have to say. If played right, and once you learn a few things about the Twins and play her a certain way, she's really good. I know when I first started playing the Twins, I was kind of playing it backwards. I would send out Victor to find survivors and jump on them, and then switch back to his sister, Charlotte, and then go at looking for him. But that's not really the way I found works best with this killer. You can do that, but you're usually out of position with Charlotte at that point. She's too far away to be any assistance. So really what the best way to play the Twins is to have Charlotte run around, you find someone, you smack them, and then you send Victor out kind of like a heat-seeking missile to look for them and down them for you. And then if someone gets close, or if someone's trying to heal them, then yeah, you can jump on their head. But that's really where I find that the Twins shine. Victor is incredibly fast. Really, really, really fast. In fact, I think he's faster than any killer in the game. I know he is faster than any killer in the game. And a bonus of that is he doesn't have a terror raise. He just has the little noises that he makes. The little Smeagol sounds for the Lord of the Rings fans out there as he runs around the map. So he really is able to kind of sneak up on people and get them. He doesn't get benefits of perks. Like you couldn't run Nurse's Calling and Victor get that ability. That's going to be just for Charlotte. But he still has a great way of tracking people down as far as his speed goes. If you hit a survivor, he can follow the blood trails to them. The Twins excel at the end game. When you get to the exit gate, if you've got the hatch closed, no keys in the game, and the survivors have to get the exit gates, you can leave Victor at near one exit gate. You can have Charlotte near the other one, and you'll kind of prevent them from being ever able to get the slip on you to the doors. Doesn't mean they won't get the doors open. It just means that they're going to have you're going to be notified when they're in the area because of Victor's ability of identifying, of alerting when a player enters his terror, or his, I don't know what you would call it, his radius, his gibberish radius. And of course you would have Charlotte run around smacking people on the other gate. And as I mentioned, the Twins are just great at chasing. One hit from Charlotte, they take off running, unleash the beast in Victor, and send them right after them. The downsides really on the Twins is Victor takes some getting used to as far as his leap goes. I prefer getting really close before I unleash the leap. That way that it's a lot harder to dodge. But he can be dodged, and if he dodges, or even if he hits somebody, that brief few seconds after he has hit a survivor or missed, he can be killed. Now he's not gone for a long period of time. I mean, what is it, 6 seconds, and then he's back with Charlotte? But the fact that he can die really means that even if you stationed him somewhere like at a door, if you've got more than one survivor left, one could run up and kill Victor, the other could work on the door, and then Charlotte comes over to them. One could lead Charlotte away while the other works on the door. So, there is some counterplay in there. Charlotte herself, or the Twins as a whole, if they are combined, really don't have the map mobility or map pressure, if you will, that some of the top tier killers have. But that doesn't really negate too much away from their power. So for that, at this time, I'm going to have to give the Twins a pretty high rating. They are an above average killer. with their abilities. They have some good things going for them, a few down things, but it's really, you know, easily mitigated, or things that really don't completely negate their positives. And if you looked at this list, that's kind of how this list was. Does your pros outweigh your cons? Do they equal them, or are your cons greater than your pros? And that's really where we go, with C being average, the middle area, the middle ground. So I think we did a pretty good job of explaining the killers. I think we've got a lot more. We've got one more in the average, and we have the same numbers above and below the average line. 8 and 8. 8 up top, 8 on bottom. Yes, superior is still just these top 3, and, you know, argue with me if you want to. That's what the comment section is for. These are my opinions, though. These are not facts. These are based off my interpretation of gameplay, my time spent as a killer in Dead by Daylight. I love this game. I think the community is really great for the most part. And I love to get to know you guys more. So, you know, sound off in the comment section. Like, subscribe, whatever the button is below for the channel you're watching on. If you're here on YouTube, you might also want to consider hitting the join button. Now, for $2.99 a month, it really goes to help the channel. It's not a huge commitment either. But, you know, I only expect that if you really, really like the content that I'm making, and, you know, want to help steer more towards what content will be coming out this year in 2021. And of course, catch me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Warlock of Wifi, or on Facebook Gaming, fb.gg/Warlock of Wifi. I usually stream 3 nights a week. The information should be down below in the description. I like keeping it down there without saying it here in the video because, well, sometimes things change and it's easier to update the descriptions down below than it is to come back and edit this one little section of a video. So that's it. That's going to be my killer terror list for January 2021. As new killers come out, major changes come out, we'll revisit this list. But for now, I think that's what we're going to go with. So, hey, thanks for watching. Hope to see you real soon. Take care. Bye! Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. If you can, go down and leave a like and maybe even a comment in the field. Subscribe to the channel and ring the little notification bell so that you can be alerted on the next video here from Warlock of Wifi. Thanks.